100 and something hours after a storm that turned out to be totally falsely represented as the most difficult storm perhaps ever. I find myself in Pemberwick Park, a wonderful, wonderful potential asset. You may know it more from Little League days and so forth. It's my fond memory. It's also been the seat of Green and Clean for probably close to 30 years. This is a significant emergency ameliorating potential unit that was installed by the Department of Public Works. There's not a particle of snow on Greenwich Avenue. It took my GPS to find this. Why is this park the most least maintained, except of course for the edict that since part of it's in wetlands or near wetlands, it can only be mowed twice a year because those are exactly what we have to do to protect the world and everything about it. No, there's no plan. It's all based on regulations by far. Part of its history is this wonderful, flat, absolutely incredible piece of engineering that was going to bring trains from Portchester to Ridgefield. Then, reality, including the meta-igneous metamorphic ridge that's somewhat in the background, causing the company to go bankrupt and laying off without any backup the hundreds of Italians that had been recruited here to work on the railroad. They found themselves camped upstream from the Byram River, which is in the bottom of this valley. The Rockefeller family stepped up, put them to work building wonderful stone walls and things like a ring around a racetrack and incredible things. Wetlands hearings have included experts whining for hours about the horrible impacts of development that could occur on the remaining Rockefeller property that is and was part and parcel to this wonderful story of effective human nature helping out so that all benefit. Right above us is the 70s first ever in the Northeast cluster housing compound. Started in 1971, nearly bankrupt, and went on to get special consideration so they could do multifamilies all of a sudden because the Greenwich Bank and Trust was going to be in trouble. Anyway, it's been a contributor to our community's tax base, and that's what's really important. As long as they keep paying their tax bills, they're on the good list. Lots of details about the bungling of it and the absolute wonderful success and precedent it's set for many of us, including myself. I think it's time to honor the Rockefellers, honor our geology, recognize that planning has become Robert Moses style, power broker style, especially since 1963, and get back to a town where instead of spending now almost 10 years for an open space plan that includes not identifying properties that have a considerable percentage of land above their zoned potential, the Rockefellers are vilified. I say we should take up a collection, buy that fabulous piece of property due north of here that has incredible potential for a number of venues, including the salamanders and all the other good stuff, but also, iron shot sports clay activities and things like that. Maybe even camping for the Boy Scouts so that they aren't subjected to the very questionable nature of the soil at the only place you can camp in the town of Greenwich at present, except for the islands offshore, which is rare. The Boy Scouts are in an area directly adjacent to the Merritt Parkway, which suffered under we have to have lead in the gas as part of the planned obsolescence movement to create more jobs here in the United States. Where's that lead now? Has anyone soil tested the Boy Scout reservation? Especially when the dredging was done? Are those samples available to the public? Let's see. It'd be fabulous if they're totally clean, because that means we'd hardly have to test anything else, because that's the only site that we really should worry about. Enjoying reality, knowing it can be improved.